Welcome back to the Mindfulness is Life podcast. I am Mika, your host and mindfulness guide. This podcast is a place where you can come and get guidance to navigate life in a mindful, non judgmental, self aware, and living your intentions in each moment kind of way. So join me, your mindfulness guide, on this Mindfulness is Life journey. Today, we'll tackle a common challenge, a racing mind that makes it difficult to be present in the moment. We've all had those moments, and if you haven't, bless you. If you haven't, consider yourself lucky. But we've had those moments where there's so many thoughts, so many things going through our mind, things to consider, things to have to do, things that are just happening right there in front of you. There are times where there's just a lot going on. What do we do about that? And so, thinking about how we handle being overwhelmed. How do we handle this constant stream of thoughts and sometimes worry or concern? And this mental chatter, that busyness, that can steal your focus, that can steal your enjoyment of the present moment. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here to talk about. So, what are we going to do about it? Know that you're not alone, right? This is something that humans experience. Um, it's common. It's definitely common in our fast-paced world where there's lots of distractions. There's always something vying and fighting for your attention or demanding your attention. And so you're here with this Mindfulness is Life podcast. Guess what? Mindfulness offers tools to cultivate presence amidst the chaos. So even in the midst of chaos, you can still practice mindfulness and kind of get through it, work your way through it. It may be hard. It will be hard at some point, but this is a practice, right? You work on it and you can cultivate these skills. Being able to practice mindfulness, being able to pay attention in the present moment without judging all the things that are happening. This allows us to observe our thoughts and our feelings without getting caught up in them. It takes practice for sure, but it is possible to become more and more mindful as you practice. Be able to see all the things and acknowledge it, right? We're not denying its existence. We're not, diminishing or amplifying it, just holding space for what is in front of me and saying, yeah, this is a lot going on. And so today we're going to explore this concept of open awareness, which is a big principle of mindfulness. As part of mindfulness is being aware in the present moment, moment by moment, being aware, seeing how things are changing, how they're staying the same, whatever it is that you're experiencing it. And so open awareness is this expansion, this expanding of our own consciousness, our own ability to see all the factors that are in play, being able to encompass everything happening within us and around us. So if you're like, whoa, that's a lot. Yeah, that's why this is a practice. This is why you have to kind of work on your skills of mindfulness and open awareness to check in with yourself, right? Because we always got to check in with self and then assess what's going on in the environment around you. So that could be a lot, which is why it's like, thank you for mindfulness. Just be, I'm very grateful that this practice exists and these reminders exist. So when a lot is happening and when there's a lot going on, I have something that I can fall back on and say, okay, let's check in with self first, and then be able to address what is going on around us. And so just, when you think about open awareness, imagine your thoughts as clouds in the sky. And as we know, the sky holds clouds, as many as, will be there, and the clouds come and go. And so just know that you too can allow your thoughts to arise and pass without judgment. You're not forcing them to come or go, but just holding space and awareness. You can acknowledge them and give them permission to come, to go just like they came. And so you have this ability to take a step back, to really see what is in front of you, what's going on, starting within yourself and then being able to see what's going on in the external outside of you. And just know that you can learn to observe these experiences. You got to have some curiosity, offer yourself kindness, and practicing that non judgmental approach to help manage the thoughts as they come. Because as you know, thoughts will come and go. Sometimes you don't have any control over that, right? But you do have control over what you maybe perseverate over, or what you judge, or what you restrict from leaving, right? You keep playing it over. I think that's that perseveration. You keep replaying and replaying the thing when it's like, it's okay to let it go. See it as a cloud and just kind of watch it. And so, to cultivate open awareness when your mind feels scattered, there's a couple of things that you might want to implement in your mindfulness practice. And then, just even in your overall awareness, is staying non judgmental. I think that's a big factor into this, that non judgmental observation, training your attention to be like a curious observer, simply noticing your thoughts or feelings without labeling them as good or bad. Just they're there, acknowledge them. Another way to cultivate this open awareness is to stay in the present moment. Sometimes you may have to fight for that, but give your permission to shift your focus from the constant chatter to the present moment experience. So, what all is going on, but just let's stay present. What can we identify? We practice this by being aware of sights, sounds, smells, tastes, the sensations that you might feel in your body that are happening in the now, like right now. So, practicing becoming aware, staying present, sometimes it's just, what do you hear? What do you see? What can you smell? What might you taste? And what do you feel in your sensations? Do you feel tension somewhere? Are you moving in one particular body part? Do you feel stiff in another area? And then another way to work on your open awareness is to expand that awareness. And expanding your awareness is practice. You can think of your awareness like a spotlight. So initially, you might be focused on one single thought, right? We can do that well. This one thing is it's getting our attention. It's like poking the bear. But with mindfulness practice, you can expand that awareness. Maybe your flashlight doesn't have to be so tightly focused on that one area, but expand that. We need a floodlight, right? Be able to see what other things might be hidden in the shadows. Allow that to encompass your thoughts and your any other sensations, and you're not getting attached to anyone. You're just noticing them, and noticing them maybe at a bigger scale, not just hyper focused on one or a few things. And just always remember, whatever it is that as you're practicing this, staying non judgmental, acknowledging it, absolutely. Holding space for it, yes. Judging it, no. And so some of these possible benefits of open awareness can include helping to reduce stress and anxiety, helping to increase your focus and your concentration, and just a greater self awareness. The more you practice checking in with yourself, the more you will be able to identify when things are changing, when you're more likely to be agitated, when you're overwhelmed, that you absolutely need to take a step back, take a deep breath. Check in with yourself. Do I feel tension? We talked about body scan before, being able to say, you know what, there's something bothering me. So now let me look a little closer. Either it may start with that flashlight, but then kind of bring it out into a floodlight. Be able to see from a greater vantage point of what else is going on, and then you hold that space for those thoughts and feelings, and to exist like clouds, and let them come and go. Give them permission. You can come and go, um, and just acknowledge it. And so when we're working on increasing our present awareness, we really should increase our mindfulness practice, integrating mindfulness exercises that will you can incorporate into your daily routine. These practices help strengthen your ability to focus and observe your thoughts without getting swept away in them. Um, Practicing mindfulness is a practice. We're going to keep working on this and keep evolving in this mindfulness practice. You don't ever get there absolute. There's always work to be done. And it does take time and effort. So just know that if you don't get it the first time, that's okay. That's normal. That's to be expected. But to keep working on it and keep working on it. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate your small wins, your big wins. Celebrate it all. Like, hey, I did a mindfulness exercise every day this week. I am celebrating that. And then keep practicing. Just know that it's a constant, it's a continual work. And then as you're working on your increasing this open awareness, being able to minimize distractions. So if you are trying to be more mindful and there's stuff on your phone, there are things on your computer, there are people in front of you, there are people trying to get your attention, figure out a way that you can create an environment where you minimize distractions, turning off notifications, putting your phone away, or letting people know, hey, this is a time for this, or this is a time for that. And at this moment, I need to focus on what I'm doing. Because I truly believe you cannot do two things at one time. We think we can multitask, but we are switching our attention between two things frequently. And I think just really practicing, trying to be a little bit more aware of how we can minimize distractions and not try to do two things at one time is another way to really just help your open awareness to say, you know what, I can only really honestly focus on one thing well. If I split my attention between two things, I'm going to miss 50% of something for each of those items because we need to be able to focus at one thing at a time. And then another part of open awareness, and I think this mindfulness journey is gratitude, writing down what you're grateful for daily. This practice will help to reframe and refocus the present and the future. There's so many positive benefits of gratitude, and I feel like that might be another topic for another episode to really just kind of expound on that and how all of this together just makes you a more mindful human and in increasing your ability to connect with others. And so, as we've talked about mindfulness today and open awareness, I'd like to allow us to practice a mindfulness exercise. And with this exercise, as we practice this, I would like for you to be able to observe and get in a mode of observing and practicing that. But observing your thoughts and allowing them to come and go, working on not clinging to the thoughts or the feelings or sensations that come. And so, with that, just imagining your thoughts like a cloud drifting across the sky. We acknowledge them, but we don't need to get attached to them. And so we're going to begin this exercise with that frame of mind by getting comfortable where you are, allowing your body to settle, get relaxed, but stay alert. And you can close your eyes or gaze off into the distance, but take a full breath in and a long breath out. And after your deep breath, let your belly and shoulders relax with each exhale. This open awareness practice will work on opening your awareness to anything that arises, that you can see your thoughts, your sensations, feelings, and sounds as clouds in the sky, that you will allow yourself to watch them come and go. You'll cultivate open awareness by practicing meeting whatever comes, Trying not to focus on any one thing, but allowing yourself to notice what is there. So as you start to pay attention to those thoughts, sensations, feelings, or sounds, and you're noticing them as clouds floating in the sky of your mind, see if any one particular cloud is demanding your attention. And if that's the case, just know that that's normal. I like to call those sticky thoughts or sensations or feelings or sounds. And when we experience that, we try to label them, which can be helpful because it acknowledges its existence. So that cloud can continue to float in the sky of your awareness, but the label, it allows you to acknowledge, it will allow you to categorize it. So you can label it as, you know what, that thought was about, it's a thinking thought. It's got my mind's attention. That thought is about work. That thought is about the other things that I need to do. That thought is about some excitement that's on the horizon. Something has just really got me excited. Something that's joyful, that's just like constant, like, oh, we want to do this thing. We have this thing lined up. And so knowing that these sticky thoughts or sensations, they're demanding your attention for a reason, label them, acknowledge them, and give them permission to continue to flow. And remember that this practice is labeling, but not judging. You're identifying and acknowledging. And whenever you notice or realize that you've gotten really caught up in thinking about one particular thing, these are normal experiences as well in the practice of mindfulness. So take a few moments to focus on your breathing, but then come back to rest in the open awareness exercise. So at any moment in time where you get distracted, focus on your breath. Inhale, exhale, the rise and the fall of your chest, and then give yourself permission to join back with this exercise. So as we're observing the sky of our mind, identifying the thoughts that are coming and going, labeling those that are demanding attention, and just letting it be. And noticing, are you seeing more thoughts or maybe less? Is the frequency different? These are the things that you'll notice over time as you continue to practice open awareness. And as we come to the end of this mindfulness exercise, take a full breath in and a long breath out. And as you exhale, push all those clouds away and let them go. And as you reflect on this mindfulness exercise, I want you to consider, was it easy or hard to observe your thoughts without judgment? And then what tips or tools from this episode will you use to stay present in the future? Mindfulness is a journey. It is not a destination. There will be times where your mind gets caught up in the chatter, in the busyness, in the urgency of a thing. But when that happens, acknowledge it with kindness and gently bring your attention back to the present moment with no judgment. That is the practice of open awareness as you're practicing your mindfulness journey. And so if you found this episode helpful, subscribe to the Mindfulness Is Life podcast. Share your experiences using the hashtag Mindfulness Is Life. And share your experiences with our mindfulness community. because together we can learn to cultivate open awareness and focus amidst the external noise to be the best versions of ourselves. So until next time, remember, mindfulness is life. And remember, you got this.